Daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. This time I'm not in Hereford. I'm not in a Premier Inn by Lenny Henry. I'm sat outside my house. Yes, folks, I am back. Back on local territory, back where I belong. Sat outside my house in the old car and hope everyone's all right. It took about 4 hours to get back from there today, and had a very interesting chat with the passenger. Yes, indeed, we did. And we're of very similar views, which I'll tell you about shortly. But before I do, let's just have a quick look and say hello to some people, shall we? John Harris, hi. Alan Pape, Cove Lord, John Kent, my buddy I ran into at the petrol station. Bloodnose and Perry, good to see you all. Tina, Bridget, good to see you. Jan Kelly, hello to you. Got the early bus, I'm here. Whee, excellent. John Harris, I already said hello to you, didn't I? Alan Edge. Alan, I just saw that message you sent me. I will look at that when I get back indoors. I've kind of looked at it about 28 minutes past and wanted to get out of here, so I'll have a look. Julie Baldwin, hello. I'm glad you're here and hope you're doing all right. Julie Keys. Who else we got? 78, hello to you, good to see you. I think that's everybody that's in the chat at the moment. Just a quick roll call there, and Zena's just popped in as well. Good to see you too. Yes, thank you to everybody for your positive contributions and your comments and everything to the channel. I appreciate all of you, all the subscribers, all of the channel members who donate the old Coke fund to Andy the Gabby Cabby all the time. Hi Keith James, thumbs up to you as well, and Trevor as well. You're all popping in. Well, yes. Who's this? Cosmic Wartoad. How do you cope sitting down for hours at a time and not getting a Bronte? Well, it's kind of a right cheek, left cheek kind of thing. Sometimes you end up doing this and you end up burying a hole in the seat with your ass, and it kind of shapes to it. It's kind of hard to explain. It's taxi speak, but there you go. Hello, Jade Griffiths. Good to see you, and Michael Lawrence too. Yes, this lady. I went down there. Anna Perkins, hello. Good to see you. A nice night at the Premier. Yes, it wasn't bad. I tell you what, right? The beds in these places, the beds are absolutely superb. Big king-size double. Soft mattress, and the duvet must have been that thick. Unfortunately, I didn't have an ultraviolet light, so I couldn't scan it for any unnecessary things. I was just careful where I buried my nose. And quite a nice shower in the morning too. Marks out of 10? Yeah, I'd give it quite a high one. Well, it served a purpose. £50 for a bed for the night, job done. And there wasn't a dinghy diver in sight. And we will talk about them towards the end of this broadcast. Well, this lady that I brought home from Hereford. Very, very similar views to me. And I said to her, I've worked you out. I said, you're not a lefty. You're not a lefty at all. I can tell that because of the way you're speaking, the way you're portraying a certain sense, common sense, in our conversation, and we had similar views and couldn't quite understand what the fucking hell people are talking about with regard to certain things. We got onto the conversation of national pride, and I thought to myself, yeah, you may have a point here. And she couldn't understand why some people out there hate this country or hate symbols that represent this country so damn much, and it's people of a certain persuasion that tend to, think like this, and why can't we be nice about our country? I mean, one of the things is when you talk about St. George's Day and St. Patrick's Day and St. Andrew's Day all over the UK, and St. Patrick's, the Irish go mad for it. I mean, Christ, best piss up I've ever had yet. It really is. And, St. Andrew's as well. And you get to St. George's and all the lefties will say is, oh, he wasn't English. Why are we celebrating that? Oh, fuck off. It's ridiculous. I mean, I saw this thing earlier in the post, online on Twitter. and you know what a cesspool that is. You know, typical example, Elon Musk is talking of buying it, and all the lefties go nuts calling it a cesspool, which us right-wing lot have been calling it for a long time. Yeah, something might be going on there, but that deal could be by the by anyway. Yes, I digress, but have a look at this picture. Right there. All those Union Jack flags, they're uptown somewhere, right? And these are all coming out everywhere. I drove home earlier. Hi, Uncle Gary, good to see you. I drove home earlier, and certain shops along the parade of shops that I drove past all had Union Jacks out. And it's quite obvious what they were for. They're for, obviously, the Queen's Jubilee. To me, it shows a sense of national pride. And to me, there's nothing wrong with it. I think we should all be more like this. And, you know, this thing come up, right? Union Jack flag display for Platinum Jubilee likened to Nazi Germany on Twitter. What the actual fuck is that about? How can you compare Nazi Germany to us displaying national pride because of, you know, a Jubilee coming up? When I read forward, I thought it's, you know, this is some lefty twerp on some bloody platform sounding off, and the media have picked up on it. I mean, how the fuck you can make this a story, I don't know. Hi, Jenny. Good to see you. And Jay Goose. Who else we got? Keith James. Yes, Keith James, I stand corrected. Yes, Union flag, not Union Jack. You find a Union Jack on the arse end of a ship. Yes, that's very relevant. It's a mistake people often make, and I make that mistake as well. Yes, there's a Twitter user called Lawrence Unboxed, and I will call him Lawrence Unhinged for the benefit of these proceedings. These flags are actually in Regent Street, the picture I just showed you. And, you know, I went up Regent Street a little while ago, and he's likening the display to a Nuremberg rally. Oh, really? I think he might need to move to Germany, but not necessarily 1939. A patriotic display of Union flags on Regent Street for the Platinum Jubilee has been likened to Nazi Germany. For fuck's sake, how the media can even make a story out of this, I'm just going to take the piss, because it is a piss take. National celebrations for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee bank holiday weekend. Oh, and I understand the bank holiday has been moved, according to what I've been told by one of my drivers today. Somebody clarify that. Include a star-studded pop concert. I hope it hasn't got that gay guy in a dress that was on New Year's. That was most disturbing. A carnival pageant and the lighting of thousands of beacons across the world. The Queen is said to be looking forward to the ambitious commemorations, which have been years in the making. I mean, 70 years, think what you like, you know. But a display of flags adorning Regent Street have been slammed on Twitter. Yes, I mean, there's some more pictures here of it. You know, look, there's that there, and that there. This is, you know, our country, national pride on display. Totally and utterly. And I can't understand why comments like that come out. It is outrageous in my view. I will get accused of right-wing pearl clutching, but I don't give two fucks. I'm just pointing out how absurd this is. He added, our royals actually are Germans, and until 1917, what is now the House of Windsor was called House of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha. Well, he's absolutely correct, of course. If you go back in time, you know, the lefties do this all the time, don't they? They go way back to try and dig up some dirt on something they don't like. And of course we know that. And, you know, the royal household was actually renamed the House of Windsor because at the time, World War I, the German sounding name, they didn't think Saxe-Coburg and Gotha sounded very good, did they? So perhaps it's not so much of a surprise to find the Jubilee being celebrated in this way. It looks plain silly to me. It's invariably true that people who feel compelled to advertise their patriotism have the least to be proud of. Shameful, frankly, and historically highly unpalatable. Besides, the Union flag has become a symbol of Brexit and hence ignorance, racism, and stupidity. Oh, the usuals. Yeah, this guy really is a piece of work, isn't he? R.I.P. Van Brexit went to sleep in the first Nuremberg rally in 1923 and awoke 99 years later to this. This arsehole is stereotypical Remainer lefty whingy twat. He needs to get on the nearest ferry or even jump on one of the dinghies when they get left in Dover and go back the other way, to be quite blunt. People like this make my skin crawl, make me sick and wonder what the fuck is wrong with them. At the end of the day, it's, yes, all right, I get it. Hi, Mum, by the way. I get it that the royal family at some stage may have had German ties, and they still have German ties. You can't just get rid of them. But, this is the monarch that's been on the throne for 70 years. And this is a symbol of British national pride that people want to display. That's all it is, national pride. I personally think this guy's a fucking idiot, to be blunt, and I think we should all wave our flags all over the place. Here's another one. Gary Neville accused of hating his country after Union Jack mix-up in the Rwanda immigrant. They're politicising a simple statement of pride. I don't know what you guys think about it. I think it's, I'm not one of these. I mean, he's not there now, but I've got someone who lives down the road, and every bloody celebration there's a fucking great flag waving out and everything. I love it. I can see that from my window. I can every time, and it's wonderful. And some guys just walk past my car with his two dogs, seeing me waving my arms about, wondering what the hell I'm talking about. It's absolutely wonderful. Oh, and here comes something. All the dog walkers are out tonight, I tell you. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think about this, but I think this guy's stereotypical lefty Remainer woke-tard dope, and he just needs to shut up and go away. They're lunatics, all of them. We are British. Whether you identify yourself as English, Scottish, Welsh, or British, you have the right to be proud of where you come from. It's absolutely nuts. But where are we? Let's have a look at the chat. Christine there's. Hello, Jean and Chrissy. Yeah, she's on a break again. You always get me on the breaks. David L. So what? What about my family? Come on, Andy. Don't give me the tourist banter. They are no good. Andrew? Question mark. Look, David L., you make a very valid point, okay? We read the news. We know what's going on with Andrew, and we see all the medals and stuff like that. At the end of the day, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a symbol that people see. It's not Andrew's shenanigans and everything else. It's what people identify with, and it's just a symbol of this country. And people are bloody stripping about, Nuremberg, come off it. It's ridiculous. But I do appreciate your point, David L, and I respect it along with everybody else in here. So thank you for saying it. Hi, happy belated birthday, Jean. That's nice seeing a W. Thank you for that. Do you think children are being indoctrinated? All these war games on Xbox, PlayStations, etc., going back a few years, Grand Theft Auto was a bad one. Your thoughts? Alan Edge, right? I am a gamer. I love computer games. I can't play the bloody things now. My kids run circles around me. But my uncle, who's in the chat at the moment, will remember he had a Commodore Amiga 500. It was literally a keyboard with a computer in about this big, you plugged into your telly. When he used to come down and see me and my mum, and his pile of floppy disks and his Commodore Amiga he used to bring with him, and I used to play on that. That was my introduction to computer games. But back then, the graphics were not as good and not as advanced as they are now. So, you know, you could shoot somebody or blow up a plane or something, and it just looked cartoon, and you didn't really think anything of it. But the technology has become so advanced, it's almost reality. I mean, you take this new Top Gun film, for example. I mean, I'm diverting away from computer games and your question. Some of the aerial footage, for example, there's aerial footage of an F-14 Tomcat. You can see it in the trailers. F-14 Tomcats don't fly anymore. There isn't any flyable, at least in the United States. And therefore, that footage is false. But it is so realistic. That's how clever we've become. You point a gun at somebody in a game and shoot somebody. It is literally so realistic. And the games now have become very movie-orientated, story-driven. And along with that realism, I can kind of see your point. And the trouble is with kids as well. If you shoot somebody in a computer game and they die, it's fine, because you can reset that computer game and turn it on again, and then everything's as it was, and you can play the game again. And some of them that aren't mature enough to understand this think, oh, bang, I'm going to shoot someone in real life now. And the stakes are higher, you know. It's you could quite possibly be right. I mean, I remember once, Alan, one of my kids were playing Call of Duty, and they had sponsored ads up the side of the screen where they load things, and one of them said BLM, Black Lives Matter. I went fucking bananas. I said, turn that off, get it off, turn it. Oh, Jesus, it was terrible. But yeah, I think they can sneak subliminal stuff into these things. I really am with you on that. Anna Perkins, we're allowing a very small lunatic fringe to take over the asylum. I know, it's crazy. Paul Crombie, maybe we should all display our flag upside down as we're in distress. That's right. That is right. I never knew that, Paul Crombie, that actual symbol, but I remember a film a long time ago. Robert Redford was in it, and it was called The Last Castle. And he played an American general that ended up in a prison with a load of other inmates, which was being run by James Gandolfini. Played him, and he was like a maniac prison warden. And he was going to hang the flag up as a sign of distress, and said about upside down. And I never knew that until then. Where else are we? Hello, Andy. I'm messaging you from outer space. I'm in Waitrose. That's Christine Ayres. Thank you very much for that. Cosmic Wartoad sounds like an EU lover who hypocritically wants to be part of the EU but won't leave Britain for the EU they love. Yeah, exactly. I know somebody, he's a raging lefty lunatic Remainer, and he wants to move to bloody Germany. I say, let him. Yes, Julie Keys, I love that. All the union flags there. Where else are we? Divian Ringo, hello to you. Good evening to everybody else that's coming to the chat. Wonderful to see you all. Even Slurpy Dave's putting an appearance. There we go. And Neats as well. Hello to you. 93 watching, only 38 likes. Right, this is the Daily Chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. Unfortunately, we're not coming live from a Premier Inn with Lenny Henry down in Hereford this evening. I'm sat in the car outside my house. So there we go. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't done so, please thumbs up on the chat. I'm feeling very gusto today. I really am. Yes, the co-op has run out of razor blades, Slurpy Dave. Thank you very much. I forgot to take one with me yesterday and can't be asked today. You might have noticed. If you're new to the Gabby Cabby and you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to us. Totally free. You can and hit the notifications as well. Thumbs up to you, Tyrone Whitehead. We're on social media. You can find us there. Thank you, Mum. 4-hour drive. I made it, and I even saw a sign for your place, Malvern, down there. Also, if you see in the chat, you'll see people with the little symbol next to them. That's the channel members, and they pay £1 a month to stick in my Coke fund. And I very much appreciate you all doing that as well. There's no ties at all in any of that if you want to support the channel in that way. So thank you very much. Lightening the mood, Andy. Have you seen the USA has shown footage showing UFO? My question is, why, if they so sure aliens are visiting Earth, why look on Mars, etc.? Yeah, you make a good point there. And the other thing, David L, as well, with the whole UFOs, I'll clear it up. Right, my thought on this very much is this whole big bubble of a universe we live in. Are we the only intelligent life on all those many planets here, there, everywhere? I find that very hard to believe. I really do. And whether that proves to be the case or not, we'll have to see. But they spent years and years from the Roswell incident it was 1947, wasn't it, onwards, deny all the way through. And you think, why now? Why is all this coming out now? It's very strange. And also, there seems to be this thing about monkeys in the press lately. They seem to be want to flood our news with all sorts of things about UFOs and monkeys. And I mean, last time I saw a monkey was in a zoo, and chucked a big pile of manure at my cousin who was winding them up. I couldn't give a monkeys about any monkeys in the thing. Apart from that, it's ridiculous. I mean, I saw a picture earlier talking about monkeys of a hand with a big scab on it, and it looks like somebody's lamped something. But it apparently was supposed to represent a picture of a monkey. And I'm being very cryptic, but I think it's bullshit. Somebody sent me a message the other day about this, who said it was quite predictable that something like this was going to happen. And I noticed that the media is ramping it up. Again, they're trying to scare the fuck out of us. It's a bit like Russia. It's a bit like the convids. And it's a bit like Mr. Spock from outer space coming to do us all in. It's very strange. But as usual, we need to see through the bullshit and everything else that's going on, don't we? It's crazy. Possibly photoshopped by the newspapers on Parliament's orders. Yeah, maybe. I mean, they've got that Area 51 over in Nevada, haven't they? And I don't know. I haven't looked at it, but apparently, if you look at it on Google Maps and zoom in, it's blacked out. You can't see anything there. So you always wonder what's going on. Smoke and mirrors. Yes, Declan Toomey, that's right. I mean, meanwhile, back to Earth with a bump. Where are we? Yes, I saw this thing. I've been a taxi driver, right, 10 years, nearly 11 years. And in that time, I've worked on the town, taken Flo to the doctors and picked up the local pissheads on a Saturday night and taken them home. Now, I've noticed some comments lately, and I do read pretty much all the comments, the good ones and the bad, which some people laughably question whether I'm a taxi driver in reality. Andy the Gabby Cabby, I just call it for the sake of it. And I can clear that up right now. I'm going to hide this little bit here because that's none of your fucking business. But there's my taxi license, right? Private hire driver, Thanet District Council. And there's my name and the expiry date and everything else. And you turn that over, and there's the backside of it with the terms and conditions. And I think it's a case of it's a legal requirement that this badge is worn. Okay, so, I've got to look like that all the time. So, yes, I'm a cab driver. Really, I am. And this is a licensed vehicle. So that just clears that up for any trolls. But, yeah, we do get our share of trouble. That's not you, that fella's clean shaven. Cheers, Edgar Lee. Yeah, that picture was taken in where are we? October or November last year. I think I grew an extra chin since, but we'll have to see about that. What we got here? We got Jack coming towards the car. I think we're about to get invaded. We'll have to see what happens. Hang on a minute. Right, what's going on here? Hello.
Hello.
What do you want? Come to say hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, not too long because I've got things to talk about. Oh, God blimey. Look at this monster I found outside. Evening all, apologies for my lateness. That's Robert McNair. That's all right. You're just in time to find Jack. He's a space invader. Yes, exactly. Are you a space invader?
No.
What do you mean, no? Well, you're a cab invader, aren't you? Don't mess around with that. Thank you very much. See, there's Nana Jean there saying hello, and Xena as well.
Hi, Grump.
Another karate lesson. Declan, Alan, they're all saying hello, Jack. He was watching. What were you watching in there? Cars.
Yeah.
Don't shut that door. That's my job. Thank you very much. We do that when the lights go out. Yes, he was watching Cars, that one with the red car and the cartoons and everything else. Chrissy Williams says, oh, lovely little Jack, hello. M. Perry, hello. What have you got to say then? What do you want to say?
I just wanted to come.
You just wanted to come out here, did you? And you wanted to invade. Somebody's just called me a Vandergit. Don't fiddle with that. Trouble is, when he comes in my car, he starts fiddling with everything. I reckon if I turn the engine on, all the lights would flash. Yes, he just wanted to come out. And thank you for calling me a ventriloquist. Look what happens. He says hello and my lips don't move.
Hello.
See, that's good, isn't it? What else can you do?
I don't know.
See, I said that without my lips moving. They come out of Jack's. How was Hereford, Dad? Who said that? Angela Gardner. Andy the Gabby Cabby, you touching your tooth. Do you have a loose one? How much the tooth fairy leave for Jack? I don't think he's got a loose one at the moment. When was the last time you lost a tooth? It's been a while, hasn't it?
6 months.
6 months. Yeah, I think he's got most of his grown-up teeth now, hasn't he?
My front two teeth are massive.
Yeah, show them. See? Look at them big teeth. They're all coming through, the adult ones. Got Lagia, yeah. Can you say got Lagia?
Got Lagia.
See? Yeah, I can say that. And yes, what they're basically saying is you sit on my lap and I make you talk. That's what they're saying.
Okay.
Okay.
And also on PetSim, I traded this guy my 340 trills. Well, I used to have a 39 trill, but I gave it to my best friend. And then this guy traded me 414 trills for my 340 trills. But what he didn't know, I could turn them into dark matter. So then I can get 440 trills. So he basically gave me what I had, but one for free.
Okay.
But it'll take 4 days because I put one in each at one, so I get all 4.
Okay. Yeah, somebody asked how old you are. How old are you?
8.
He's 8. When are you 9?
January the 31st. July the 31st.
Yes, he gets his birthday confused sometimes. He's trying to act younger than he actually is, but he's got another 30 years before he has to start worrying about that. But, want to say anything else? They all like your teeth, by the way. They're all saying that you've got nice teeth. Don't touch.
Representative. Is that what Nana Jean said?
Yeah, Nana Jean, Avon representative. That's Nana Jean. And Uncle Gary and Cousin Jennifer are in the chat there somewhere as well. Jack, how cool is your dad?
On a scale on 1 to 10, shining his toes on me about 1.
Goodbye.
Plain robots 8.
Yeah. And come on.
Let me sleep in your bed 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Well, he got to sleep in my spot last night because I wasn't there. That was good, wasn't it? Yes, exactly. Anyway, say goodbye, folks, to Jack.
Bye.
Bye. Go on, in you go.
Bye.
We have other things to discuss.
Wait,
and then I'll be in.
how much longer are you going to be?
Well, a little while longer now because you came and gate crashed. You all right?
Like an hour.
Won't be that long.
Okay.
See you in a little while. Bye. Well, that's Jack gone. He's just walking back in the house now. From my point of view, right, I'm here and my house is there over that way. Obviously, you can't see it. And I literally just saw the front door open and thought, oh, I couldn't see my wife, so I knew who it was. But I know you'll say hello to Jack, and I thank you for that. He's got his own YouTube channel as well, Jack Games. So go and you know, have a look at that if you haven't done so. I know some of you are subscribed. By Jack, we have the world to put to rights. That's correct. Well, yes, as I was talking about taxi driving, let's just find the right thing. Yes, I just take people to the airports now, so I very rarely get any trouble because people are in a good mood. See you, Christine. I hope work goes okay and quick. Yeah, exactly, Anna Perkins. Yeah, well described. Yeah, I get a nicer group of people because they just want to go on holiday at the end of the day. But when you work on the town, you open yourself up to a bit more risk. You know, some places more so than others, but you get people that can be argumentative. You get people that are nice. The majority of people are nice. And when you work nights, as I did for quite a while, you can open yourself up to a little bit of risk, because when people are going out and clubs and things like that, they can get a bit and pick arguments and scraps about things that might not necessarily be so. And there are other risks as well with regard to having your takings off of you. I mean, I used to take certain measures. I had a big metal cash box, for example, and that'd be across the skull if anything happened. But I always find stories about cab drivers, and if they're bad, I want to bring them to the public attention to raise awareness. And we need to get in a position where this kind of stuff isn't tolerated. I mean, we've got here 2 drunken louts jailed for life over murder of taxi driver after a row over a chicken burger, of all things. Crazy. CSS 78, thank you for stopping by. Here's one of them, right? I mean, look at this filth. All right. He looks a nice chap, doesn't he? And let's find the other one. Yeah, here's the other one. Yes, they thought they would go and murder a taxi driver. Isn't that nice of them? But they're now in prison for the rest of their life. Well, say the rest of their life, but we'll see what that actually means in real terms, won't we? Yes, Ali Asghar suffered catastrophic head injuries in a brutal attack after he challenged one of his passengers about eating chicken burger and chips in his vehicle. Rules of the game, right? You're not allowed to eat in a cab. Some let it get away with it, some don't. He was punched in the head by Connor McPartland and Martin Treacy, 20 and 18 years old. So probably you know. And then they kicked him while he lay defenceless on the ground. He died in hospital 2 weeks later. Defendants were convicted at Manchester Crown Court of murder in the early hours of October the 30th. A sentencing hearing on Monday. The victim's younger brother came along. Asghar's younger brother said he'd initially walked past Mr. Asghar as he lay on a stretcher in the hospital corridor. I mean, that's disgraceful, isn't it? He said Ali's face was unrecognisable from the facial injuries. It was only as I passed his shoes that I realised who he was. Reading the victim personal statement, they do that in the courts to try and show how other people's actions affect things. He told the court his brother had left his native Pakistan to settle in the UK in 2009. So he'd been here a long time. I mean, there's a lot of cab drivers like that, and some of them work incredibly hard. The economics graduate started delivering leaflets, worked in a McDonald's restaurant, qualified to work in security. Mr. Asghar went on to gain his taxi license, and he continued to work extreme hours to financially support his family. 60 hours a week at least, this game sometimes. His brother said, every day my mum tortures herself for agreeing to let him go to work in the UK. The fact he worked so hard to give his parents a better life. He never reached the age where he could reap the rewards of hard work. He was selfless, looked after his family, and sounded like a very genuine, hard-working chap. McPartland and Treacy's trial heard that they'd ordered an Uber to take them from Oldham town centre to Rochdale. During the journey, Treacy began eating in the back of the car and swore at the driver when he was asked to stop. I've had that before. Mr. Asgar pulled over at a petrol station in Rochdale and was then set upon outside his vehicle by the pair. The judge sentencing told that the taxi driver Ali had the misfortune to meet the two, a pair of drunken self-entitled louts. See you later, Alan Pape. A decent, hard-working man. He has credit to those close to him. The attack upon him followed a dispute for which he was in no way to blame. You both attacked him and bear equal responsibility. The attack was savage. McPartland was sentenced to a minimum of 14 years and 6 months. Treacy admitted manslaughter but denied murder. He's locked up for 13 years and 6 months. Well, the headline said life, and it obviously isn't life, is it? It's 13 and 14 years. It's incredibly bad. You just lost money, Andy. Laugh out loud. Okay. Barristers said both were remorseful, plan to use their time in custody to learn and improve. They weren't remorseful, they were told to say that. It's awful story. And, this happens more and more in certain areas of town. And, I think the sentences don't fit the crime anymore. Neil Wilson, you just lost money, Andy. I'm not sure what you getting at there, or you say loot money. I don't know what you mean there. How much are taxi fares? He won't answer, so I'll go to another channel. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to there, Neil. Life in this country means the lifespan of a corgi. I'll tell you what, Neil, though, the taxi fares down my way are, nowhere in compared to other places. It's very, very, very cheap down here. I think our minimum fare is about £3.30, something like that. It's not great. My dad's worked selling seafood in pubs, etc., and he was mugged to get his money. Luckily, my dad was ex-military. I think he gave them some crab sticks. No, right, though. Yeah, good for him. Angela, yeah, I've had smallpox, but now I've heard about this monkeys. It just takes one arsehole to get in the cab and your shift could end. That's right, absolutely. The Wakefield ex-Conservative has been sent down for 18 months today. Yes, Mr. Khan, not to be confused with, but yeah, I did read that. Bottom of the sea. Why do they call it life when you don't serve a life term? Very relevant comment. That is, life should mean life without a shadow of a doubt. You're all of the same thing. Night taxiing is not for family people. I did it, Jane, because during the day, with the amount of people out working, it was very difficult to get around everywhere, and you couldn't make any money, really meaningful money. So I did nights because the roads were empty and you could get around. And then I obviously do what I do now. I think the last close call I had was I picked up a bunch of troublemakers from a pub, and it was quite obvious straight away they were trouble, and they went shoplifting, refused to get out my car, smoking in the car. I'm an ex-bloody smoker, so I found that pretty offensive. And they just wouldn't get out. And in the end, I pulled over. I said, you get out of this cab or I'm going to bloody throw you out of it. And his mate behind me, he was drunk at the time. They got in a row and basically threw each other out of the cab. Yeah, Bob Davey, the word bollocks describes what you just said quite well. I had to give up being a taxi driver. I couldn't stand people talking behind my back. Yeah, that's the trouble. I could not see why this is not considered murder but is reduced to manslaughter. Big enough sentence, but it should have been life. Too dangerous to be out and about. It's easily triggered. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's one vital thing that where are we? Let me find it. There's one vital thing I think cab drivers should have, and that's one of these. I've got to hang this back up on my thing because the bloody sticky thing for it come off, but that records everything going that way out the car. This records what's going on inside the car, and there's audio recording capability on there as well. So it covers your ass, and I recommend anybody that does that kind of job, me included, use it. It's one of those things. Anyway, folks, this is the Daily Chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby, aptly joined by Jack just a few moments ago. Thank you very much for all of your support. Even Neil Wilson, who's going to go somewhere else because I didn't answer his question in a timely fashion. Come back! I don't do that. If you haven't done so already, please give the channel a thumbs up. And I appreciate that. Let's get this algorithm talking about this live stream up and up and up and up. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel too. If you're new to Andy the Gabby Cabby, that's wonderful. And you can find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter. Yeah, I am on there, unfortunately. Instagram and all the other places where we get social. I'll just have a quick look through the chat, see what people are saying. And then we'll have a look at the last thing, and that'll be about the dinghy divers. This is what Neil Wilson asked: how much do you charge for a taxi from London to Dorset coast? Just wondering. No, I didn't see that, Mum. I'm too busy bloody yattering. And I usually charge £1.40 a mile from here, so it might be a bit cost prohibitive. Capital Property, your Gov, Epoxy, and the media. Yeah, I'll go with that. Capital Property. Good evening, Andy. All in chat. That's Kim Alliston. Good to see you. Bob Davey. Evening, Andy. Evening to you. And yes, it is a load of bollocks. Andy, get Jack a monocle, Lord Charles. I love that. Yes, definitely. Kay, don't know how long it lasts. I cannot see. Yep, we went there. Life in this country means a lifespan of a corgi. Yes, absolutely. Neil Wilson, decent people getting murdered by scumbags who work to support their family. Some people just don't care, do they? Time for me to go back to work. Yes, I like this where we have people skiving off work to come and watch. That's wonderful. Andy the Gabby Cabby's channel. I've had Declan. Some people should never be allowed to even look at a pint of lager, let alone have one. Certain drinks change it, don't they? It's mad. Friend who was a taxi driver got stabbed in the head a few years ago. They got 150 quid off him. He's disabled now. They got given 10 years. That's in Folkestone. That's disgusting. You know, something life-changing like that, they should get a lot more. I mean, I remember an incident once that happened in this area where I am, in Margate, by a car park. I won't say where it is, but you turn right and there's like a road that goes down the back of it, and there's no lighting or anything, and there's actually a block of flats down there. Why'd you ban gay people from your taxis? Unsubscribed. What are you on about, Neil Wilson? I didn't mention anything about that at all. I'm not quite with you on that. Yes, I mentioned something about somebody, but certainly not that. I do worry about those kinds of comments, but okay. Yes, we went down this back alley to these blocks of flats, and what was happening, people were wanting fake taxi rides down there, and they were getting to the bottom in this secluded area, and there's no cameras, no lights, no nothing, and the cab drivers were being robbed sometimes at knife point. And I remember one night somebody directed me to take them and drop them in Margate, and they were at the top of this road, and it was they wanted me to go down here, and I already had foreknowledge of this situation going on, and I said no, I'm not going down there. I already knew about it, and they didn't like it very much, but there you go. Unbelievable that it all goes on. And at the end of the day, we're just trying to do a job like anything else. Yeah, Chrissy, I just don't get that. Yeah, thank you everybody for pointing that out. And you know, I thought it was my voice box for a second, but not quite. Sexy bastard, watch out, Andy. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, another thing I want to talk about just at the end is the dinghy divers. I was shocked at a figure that I saw earlier. I mean, I saw, where are we? Let's find it. They reckon that 234 came over yesterday on, I think, a dozen boats. Yeah, and that's just a crazy number. And they're talking about 50 going to Rwanda out of all that lot. It's crazy. I mean, we've got migrant crossings exceeded 9,000 this year after children wrapped in blankets carried ashore. You get these pictures of children turning up every now and again, or supposed children. I mean, this is what they've got in the press, in the media here. See, that's the current thing. I'm not entirely convinced at that personally. I'll let you make your own opinion, but we've got people checking on this every time. But we've got children wrapped in blankets were seen being carried ashore as the number of migrants who crossed the channel to the UK so far this year surpassed 9,000. 9,000 already. Last week, 685 people arrived in 5 days, and crossings continued on the Monday. Some 9,000 people have reached the UK after navigating busy shipping lanes from France in small boats like dinghies since the start of 2022. They didn't navigate anything. They were met halfway and bought here. Let's get it right. There were 234 people who made the crossing in 5 boats on Sunday. And this is apparently the MOD reporting these statistics now. Women and young children were among the latest group pictured arriving in Dover. Yes, they mention that every now and again for good measure. It comes as the UN Refugee Agency reiterates its concern over the government's plans to deport them to Rwanda. Well, my concern over the government's plan to deport them to Rwanda is no deterrent at all, is it? It's not going to stop them, and the human rights lawyers will be all over it. It's just not going to work. In a post on Twitter, it was said financial support abroad for certain refugee crises cannot replace the responsibility of states and the obligation to receive asylum seekers and protect refugees on their own territory, irrespective of nationality, mode of travel, etc., etc., etc. These are not refugees. These are economic migrants. Apparently, there was a news article out earlier that Rwanda was mentioned to some of them and they wanted to go back. My case is closed. Comments follow a visit by Home Secretary Priti Patel and Rwandan Foreign Minister last week to meet representatives from the body. According to the Home Office, Ms Patel and Mr Baruta reinforced their commitment to working in collaboration with UN agencies on a deportation plan and emphasised that claims will be processed in accordance with UN Refugee Convention. They're not refugees. But afterwards, Mr Grandi said he had reiterated his concerns about the deal and that the UNHCR will continue proposing concrete solutions that respect international law. Meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister Dominic Raab said the number being sent to the Eastern African nation is more likely to be in the hundreds each year, adding that he wanted to manage expectations about the plan to give people deemed to have arrived illegally a one-way ticket. When announced last month, Boris Johnson said tens of thousands of people could be flown there under the deal in years ahead. So Dominic Raab is contradicting Boris, which isn't a new thing, but at the end of the day he's being realistic. Dominic Raab, he's saying in the hundreds. I don't think it'll even reach 3 figures, to be honest. I think this is all smoke and mirrors and they're going to continue to come. It is no no deterrent at all, and it's disgusting that it continues. But we have people down there like TW Media and those sorts of people that are actually actively looking at this and, you know, putting a face to it and letting us know what is going on, and that's very very valuable in this day and age. This is a daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby, everybody. If you've haven't done so already, give us a thumbs up. Let's get this live stream up there to somewhere near 100 if we can. 100 likes, that's wonderful. Let's get a bit of light on the subject, shall we? If you haven't done so already, can I ask that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and that'll be good of you. And I appreciate all the support and off the channel members as well, all the people with the emblem next to their name, and good to see you, and thank you for all of your positive contributions. And don't forget, we're on social media too. Now let's have a quick shifty at the chat and see what people have got to say, and then we'll think about doing away with things for the evening, and I shall go back indoors. You might wake up with a tail, sexy bastard says. Okay. The Queen looked great today at the Chelsea Flower Show. I saw that picture, yeah. How many will be flown to Rwanda on A380s? Little fuckers more like. Yeah, definitely. A disgrace, Andy. Yeah, the whole thing is. Where else are we? I don't know. When challenged with a destination, Rwanda, some are asking to be sent home. Fully assist these people. Chrissy Williams. Can't be doing with nasty people in here. Yeah, I don't get it. They are back. Liam T and TW have been very busy this weekend. Andy, you ever been told you look like Bernie Winters? No, I haven't. King 7703. That's a new one on me. I've been told I look like some others. Declan Toomey, thank you for that. What do you call a Chinese donkey with 3 legs? I'm afraid to ask. Besides arriving illegally, they bring back diseases we fought back years ago. I was trying to tell you not to have sex with anyone much at the moment. My comments weren't getting to you. MP was in the US 9 months ago. Health officials knew back then. I do know. Okay. Neil is a bot. Well, he's a bot that somehow signed up as a channel member, James Carney, so I'd love to know what's going on there. Wonky. Love it. What navigation exactly? Rwanda looks good. Wouldn't mind a holiday. Economic migrants and weapons to Ukraine when they can't fix a pothole in the road. Smoke screen to distract us. Why is there not a vote? It's exactly what it is, isn't it? Smoke and mirrors all along. What do you call a fish with no eye? Fish. Yeah, the jokes are coming now, aren't they? I'll have a look at that, Zena, what you just suggested Googling. Somebody sent me something very similar. Simple but effective. Anna Perkins, get a bit of better light for you. Pinching baldy food, guys, catchphrase. What do you call a fish with one eye? Fish. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Julie. I'll have a look at the comments there. I pass. I think someone's blown a gasket somewhere. No, you didn't miss anything, Bloodnose, really. 23 more likes to reach 100. That'd be cool if we could do that before the night ends. Are there cheap last-minute flights to Rwanda? They may well be if they can't fill them with dinghy divers, that's for sure. Hi, Andy. Hope you had a good time in your hotel last night, mate. It wasn't bad, Mike Alligators. Just had the place to myself, did a bit of work. Spoke to you guys for a little bit of time and had some sleep. It was quite comfortable, thank you. Zena, I have been battling censorship by YouTube to get messages. Told you what to type and where to watch. Gotta go and walk the dog. Bye, everyone. See you later, John. Cheers for stopping by. That's a compliment, Andy. At least he didn't say you look like Snorbits. That's very true. I didn't have a full English this morning, Alan. I did that when I got home. The new in Africa, coincidence or yeah, that's very, very true, that one. Thanks, Chrissy. Yes, wonderful. Well, folks, I'm going to wrap things up for the evening, I think. Enough excitement for one day. I'm going to go in, and obviously we've covered a few news stories today. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, Jan Kelly. I love it when that happens, especially when they jump in the car. I had someone in here once called Mike Hunt, who decided they wanted to be clever, but that happens every now and again, especially when they pay some money to try and gain access all areas, but that's up to them. Deposit no return and all that, but never you mind. Tomorrow we'll have a few more bits of content out there, everybody, and another live stream as we do every day. The only day we don't, of course, is Thursday, where I go and get the crap kicked out of me by my son. Good to see all of you. If you haven't done so already, please give the thumbs up a working on the way out of the door. That'd be wonderful. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. And I'm sure most of you are already. I recognise all of you. Nice stream again. Thanks, Andy, Jack the Interloper, and all of you. Have a peaceful night and sleep well. Wonderful. You too. Yes, and I'll see you all tomorrow. It's been fun as ever. I'll see you then. Toodaloo.